So here are the titles I was thinking for this episode. Goddamn Electric Ben, Blanck Folds, Ben Mass, and this is my favorite, I think. The Folds of Troy.
Oh,
I
nice.
like imagine just a bunch of small people and a fat guy named Troy just trying to perverse his fat rolls. The folds of Troy.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah?
Protect the folds of Troy.
Yeah.
Prevent the folds of Troy. Ooh. I like that.
Get this man on a diet. Stat. All right. Welcome to Shuffle, episode 11. Please make sure that you listen to the 5 songs that are discussed in this week's episode. There will be links to Spotify and YouTube playlists in the description for this episode, so you can listen to them. Today, I'm sitting here yet again with the perpetual special guest, Dominic Manthe.
Hello, Jared.
Ooh, it's like sultry NPR voice.
Ooh, I see that popping up on the little audio feed.
Yeah,
It's looking huge.
it's looking pretty huge.
I made it, Mom. I'm big time now. Here's to you, Ma.
This episode is dedicated to Dee Manthe.
Dee.
Shout out to Dee.
Mom on my end.
Also, never met you, so nice to meet you.
He's a good guy. Don't worry, Mom. I'm in
Thank-
good hands on this podcast. All right.
Thank you, Dominic. That's the best compliment I've ever received. Okay, I guess with that, I can announce that we have successfully gone 11 episodes without an ICP incident.
It's uncanny, man.
It is.
Where the clowns at?
It feels like we're due for one any time now.
Just gonna be 5 ICP songs.
Send in the clowns.
Just
5. Karma's like, you asked for it.
It's just 5 of the same one. That would be really crazy.
Ooh.
And
it's
then
just
the
like
6th one just starts
worst
playing, so it's
Oh,
fucking 6.
and it just never ends, and it's just this hell of the same ICP song for eternity. And we
That
just
would
have
be
to,
great.
we're forced to just talk about it
We were
ad
we
nauseum.
record a podcast, but every time we play it, it just is an ICP song playing. Inexplicably, we can't figure it out.
And like just like the faintest hint of our voices, but instead of it being us talking about it, it's just us like screaming and crying faintly in the background. But our voices can't make out the words because we're just gurgling blood for some reason.
Dude, that could be our avant-garde podcast right there. Dang.
So with that, we can segue into everybody's favorite news segment, ICP News Corner.
Ooh.
I learned that Violent J, one half of the duo, will be embarking on his first ever solo tour this March to help raise funds for the St. John's Children's Hospital of Illinois. So I hope you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah, man. Shit, why do you have to go and do that?
No,
Now
I
I feel like a jerk.
I think I said this on the episode that Maddie's brother was on Max. It's like, the more I'm looking into these guys, the more that they're actually kind of they're good guys, and they mean no harm, and they're like the amount of time I'm spending looking into them is humanizing them.
See, and that's why you never get to know anyone well, because it's so much easier to be mean to them,
Yeah,
right?
that'll teach me. I've learned my lesson. I will never look into somebody ever again. Okay, moving into other music news, and oh boy, do we have a lot of it, because it's been a while since we've been able to talk about music news. So I'll just gloss over this, but a bunch of bands are either putting out new music, getting back together, or are going on tours. Today it was announced that Modest Mouse and Brand New are going to be touring together at the Drive-In. Famous first wave emo band, post-hardcore band, are reuniting, putting out a new album and touring. LCD Sound System is reuniting, putting out a new album and touring. Guns N' Roses are touring. Radiohead allegedly has new music out and is going to be doing shows. Kanye West's new album Swish is coming out soon.
Swish.
And apparently, David Bowie has set up numerous anthology albums to be released over the next 50 years or so. So we can expect Bowie releases until we're probably dead also.
That's how you create a legacy, man.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, and there is one other maybe breaking news. I just read this right before I came over here. Is that Vampire Weekend, one of the main members, whose name is Rostam. He left. He quit the band.
Rostam Batmanji.
You got
it's
it.
Like Batman.
It's got Batman in it. That's very cool. But he quit.
Yeah, and I heard that he was like one of the main sources of Vampire Weekend's unique sound.
Yeah. He did a lot of the electric and like guitar tinkering and backup vocals.
Yes. And he said that him and Ezra, the lead singer of Vampire Weekend, will continue to collaborate, but not just with Vampire Weekend. So no one really knows what this means for Vampire Weekend, except that.
Can't wait to listen to all the great music he's going to make solo for the rest of his life. Can't wait. Thanks, buddy. That's what I was looking for.
He did.
Most of the stuff I like.
He did it just for
you. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, pal.
Kudos, Batman. Other music news. One of Dominic's favorites, Pearl Jam.
Oh, yeah.
Has donated $300,000 to the city of Flint, Michigan to help with their water crisis.
Wow.
Are you aware with the water crisis in Flint, Michigan?
Yeah, I've heard. That's...
So for anyone who doesn't know, for the past 2 years, citizens of Flint, Michigan have been exposed to toxic levels of lead from corrosive drinking water. The mayor of Flint recently just declared a state of emergency due to how bad it is. And yeah, Pearl Jam donated a bunch of money, basically said use this to buy everyone safe drinking water, and then whatever you have left over, fix the problem.
Yeah.
Are they from Flint, Michigan, or?
They're from Seattle. They're one of the big Seattle bands.
Oh, grunge.
Yeah.
Duh.
Come on, man. You're wearing flannel right now, bro. You don't know?
I better take it off.
No, but I think Eddie Vedder, he's had a pretty long streak of trying to do a celebrity activism.
Sure.
But that's well
that's
done.
Cool.
Yeah, that's very well done.
Now, going from some really good guys to the bottom of the worst slimy guys, our friend Martin Shkreli.
More Shkreli news? More news on the Shkreli feed.
He is allegedly dropping a mixtape tomorrow.
No way.
Last week he tweeted, "I may or may not be dropping a mixtape next Wednesday, as in tomorrow."
Wow.
So we can look forward to that, I guess. And other news, Obama declared that Kendrick Lamar is a better rapper than Drake.
Stating the obvious, but well done.
So recently Kendrick stopped by the White House, hung out with Obama. There's a video about it. And Obama told Kendrick that How Much a Dollar Costs is his favorite song in 2015. Later on, in a Q&A hosted by YouTube Today, which is like a YouTube news channel, he was asked whether he preferred Drake or Kendrick, and Obama said, quote, "Gotta go with Kendrick, I'm just saying. I think Drake is an outstanding entertainer, but Kendrick, his lyrics. His last album was outstanding. Best album, I think, of last year." So it is officially decreed. Kendrick is a better rapper than
in all of the land.
Drake. So, are you familiar with a rapper who goes by the name B.o.B?
Yeah.
Have you heard about this at all?
Yeah, I was just today. I literally tried to read what you're about to talk about. I tried to read it all, and it was prefaced. It's going to be hard to read through all of this. And I was like, I can do it. And I literally couldn't do it. It was so much, and it was so bad shit.
Yep.
That's how I got to preface it. It's more crazy than you can even describe.
So, the rapper B.o.B, who, honestly, I haven't heard about in 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, same.
A while ago, he came out with a song called Airplanes that featured Haley from Paramore singing on it. And I really forgot he existed until now. So
he's been busy.
Just recently, he took to Twitter claiming that the Earth was flat. And everyone started being like, you got to be kidding. And he just kept coming back and coming back. Nope, the Earth is flat. The Earth is flat. The Earth is flat.
Tons of visual evidence.
Yes, pictures, graphs, photos. He's probably wearing a tinfoil hat while he was posting them. So our friend and science savior, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the famous media astrophysicist, jumped in and started responding to every single argument that B.o.B was making with cold, hard, factual science on how he was wrong.
Yeah.
Now today, B.o.B dropped a new track on his SoundCloud, which is titled Flatline, in which he calls out Tyson and literally samples parts of Tyson's lectures that he's given and like responds to them in the rap.
Jesus.
He also tells listeners to read famous Holocaust denier David Irving and references several other conspiracy theories, and he's quoted saying Stalin was way worse than Hitler.
Jesus Christ.
Now, this gets even weirder because this isn't the first I shouldn't say but celebrity who's maybe fallen out of fame who recently came back into the limelight because of claiming the earth is flat and being a Holocaust denier. Do you remember Tila Tequila?
Oh, yeah. I thought, that was in the back of my mind. I was like, isn't this vaguely familiar?
Yeah. So
yeah,
just like 2 weeks ago, she was all over the news because she started like talking about how the earth is flat. And actually, she's not only a Holocaust denier, but she is a Hitler supporter, which is the stance that she took.
Wow.
We can all remember Tila Tequila from her famous MySpace days and her yes. My girlfriend just corrected me. He is a Holocaust sympathizer. She is a Holocaust sympathizer.
No. Oh, so not even a denier.
No.
Wow,
She
very
supports the
interesting.
Nazi regime and everything that they stood for.
Wow. I don't think I've ever heard anyone publicly on the record say that in my lifetime.
She used to have a dating show on MTV or VH1, and it was famous for the fact that it was one of the first like Bachelor-esque shows that featured both men and women competing for her love.
Yeah.
And actually going back to ICP, she was also famously known for opening for ICP at a gathering of the Juggalos one year, but they started throwing glass bottles at her and knocked her unconscious, and she got not even one song into the set, and they just hated her so much that they had to pull her off stage.
Wow. That's cold. That's some cold clown law right there laid down.
Yep. So that's B.o.B.
Wow.
And now we can finally wrap up news, checking in with our good old buddy and pal, Wes Scantlin of Puddle of Mud.
What?
Who made it 9 days into the year 2016 before getting arrested. His previous best was 2015, when he made it 20 days into the new year before getting arrested for drunkenly riding around in an airport baggage carousel. This year, following a December 26, 2015 arrest for drug possession, Scantlin was arrested again on January 9th, 2016 for breaking into his former house that he lost in foreclosure last year. He smashed the window with a hatchet to get inside, at which he then proceeded to trash all of his old audio equipment, surveillance cameras, and alarm equipment. There's a video online that TMZ posted that someone took with their cell phone of the cops taking him out of his house and him just saying, "Come on, man, this is my house. I can do what I want. It's my house."
Oh my God. It's the oldest story. You got Van Gogh, right? Mozart. These geniuses, they struggle. They're on such a high plane. They create this stuff that gets us so close to the deep truth. They can't live in this world. You know what I mean?
They were not
Cut them
meant
some
for
slack.
this.
Yeah, exactly, man.
He's just trying to deal with being around us mortal beings.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
I feel for him.
Hashtag feels for Wes Scantlin. So, what have you been listening to lately?
Well, it's been a while since you've asked, man. So I've been just churning through just some of the B-sides and, backlogs and outtakes of Wings. The outtakes, the mistakes are even better than the right versions.
Some
I
might
gotta be
argue that the whole discography is a mistake.
Hey, no joking about Wings.
I'm
all right?
sorry. Did you
But
make
there's
it
something so distinct about Paul McCartney that even when he's bad, I like him.
All right.
Even when he's bad, I like him. You know what I mean? But what I've really been listening to, Australian indie singer-songwriter, I kept seeing her name, Courtney Barnett, on many end of year bests, and I was like, who the hell is this? And her album, Sometimes I Sit and Think, and Sometimes I Just Sit, which sounds like it could be Paul McCartney's memoir, maybe.
Oh wait.
I've been listening to her.
I know this. She is she the one that says like, "You can't see me, can't see
Yes.
you"? Okay,
Yep.
I've heard her
Yep.
on the radio.
Yep.
I've
Yep.
always I like that song a lot. And I meant to check her out.
That's her. Yep.
Okay.
Excellent album.
I thought she was British. She sounds kind of British when she sings.
Yeah.
But Australian makes sense.
Australian. Yeah, no, and yeah, excellent album. It's very witty and sarcastic, but very down to earth. Someone compared her to John Prine, and I think that's pretty fair. John Prine, excellent songwriter, very tongue in cheek, but not pretentious at all, and very great kind of sense of melody. Yeah, she's good. That's a great album.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I did like that song. What's her name?
Courtney Barnett.
Courtney Barnett.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been listening to 2 very different albums on the spectrum. I'll start with one, the more accessible one. I've been a diehard Panic at the Disco fan since high school. And a lot of people might not even realize they're still together.
I did
But
not.
they are.
Wow.
And actually, so as this is actually their 5th LP they've put out. It's called The Death of a Bachelor.
Huh.
And as the albums have been coming out, more and more band members have been leaving the band. So now it is essentially a solo project of lead singer Brendan Urie.
Oh.
So this is the first album. It's technically still under the Panic at the Disco moniker, but it's entirely him. There's no other. He's the
Creative
sole
force.
musician.
Wow.
It's really good. It's actually the first Panic album to hit #1 on the Billboard charts.
What? Wow,
Yeah.
I didn't even.
And then,
Wow.
they kind of were born near the end of that kind of emo era, starting of the scene era.
Yeah.
And his music is evolved a lot. It's a lot poppier and dancier. And actually, this album is highly Frank Sinatra crooner inspired.
Wow.
Now, if you're going into it expecting crooner songs, it's not crooner songs, but you can kind of tell the lyrical content, the delivery of the vocals is kind of inspired by Frank, at least.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a lot different than this other album I've been listening to, which I'll get to in a second. But it's just, I like it. It's nice. It's catchy, and I'm always curious. They put out really catchy music.
Yeah.
So this other album I've been listening to, actually, Maddie's brother Max. Shout out to Max. I know you're listening.
What up, Max?
Recommended this album to me after I was trying to describe to him 10 Tricks Point Never. And as I was describing it to him, he's like, "Oh, have you ever heard of Arca?" I was like, "No, I haven't." After he told me about this and I saw the album cover for this album, I did see this picture on some of the 2015 lists. So the album is called Mutant by Arca. He's a Brazilian electronic music producer. And this album, Mutant, is like a monolith of an album.
Yeah.
It's like 10 Tricks, but less accessible. And that's saying a lot. It is abstract as fuck. There are some of the most beautifully soundscapey ambient pieces that all of a sudden just delve into the most horrible white noise, demonic, hellish sounds I've ever heard before.
Wow.
And this album, it's 30 tracks long. It's almost 2 hours in length. It's a lot.
Damn. Wait, what's the name of the album?
Mutant.
Mutant.
And
I'll
it's
check that out.
ARCA.
Yeah,
which is
the name.
which is weird. as Max was telling me that he got pretty popular because he did a lot of he got famous doing production for people. Like, I guess he was on Kanye's Yeezus album. A lot of really big names he produced. So people were kind of expecting this electronic dance music, hip hop inspired. And then he came out with this extremely abstract, experimental noise monstrosity.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. There's some really good tracks on it. I think it's worth listening to just for the experience, but you really have to, like, it will punish your brain while you're listening to it.
Yeah, that kind of musical experience. Right on.
All right. Well, I guess with that, we can move into our first track, which is Crossfire by Goddamn Electric Bill off the 2008 album Topics for Gossip. Goddamn Electric Bill is a project of a man named Jason Tobert. He's an American musician. He's the sole member of the Goddamn Electric Bill project, and he is from Davis, California. He describes his music as a blend of ambient, electronic, folktronica, and post-rock. Though I would say all of his music pretty much falls under the blanket term of folktronica, which I'm sure you can guess what it means, but it's a genre of music comprising various elements of folk music and electronica. It often features samplings of acoustic instruments, especially stringed, and incorporates hip-hop and dance rhythms into it. And basically, you add some unplugged, as he says, he was asked, what do you define folktronica as? He said, quote, add some unplugged instruments to the keyboards and bam. That's about it. So, interesting name, Goddamn Electric Bill.
Yeah, actually, I gotta say, this was one of, every time I see a song and band I haven't recognized, I try to guess. What's the artist? What's the album? And this is, or what's the artist? What's the song?
So what was your guess?
I guessed the band was Crossfire, and I was very surprised that the name of the band is Goddamn Electric Bill.
It is.
Okay.
So this is, according to him, the origin of the name. He says, it wasn't a well thought out decision, and in hindsight, I probably wouldn't have named the project that. I was just brainstorming funny band names with a friend. Most had expletives. Seemed to be the nature of the naming quest. I thought of way too many phrases that contain expletives and then moved on to phrases like, ouch my toe, and use a turn signal. And he settled on Goddamn Electric Bill. So, I didn't find out too much about this guy. He's kind of a smaller artist. What I did find is he's very similar to this other artist who kind of falls under the same wheelhouse as him that I listen to a lot, a guy named Keith Kniff. He records under multiple monikers. There's Helios, which is probably his biggest one. There's Goldmund, there's Mint Julep, which he does with his wife. They're both these kind of guys who dabble in ambient electronic music, and they are just straight up working musicians.
Yeah.
They try to put out as much music as they possibly can, and their music appears in everything. Like, they're a working musician in that their focus is getting music in commercials and documentaries on ads.
Okay, that
like,
makes sense.
They make songs for a living. As well as making their own music, they try to sell it as much as they can.
Working man.
Exactly. He's like a blue-collar musician.
Yeah, no, I don't fault him for that.
I can't exactly remember how I found this guy. I think he actually found me. So, none of this is yet to pop up on a playlist, but back in my high school and early college years, I had a electronic music project called Wixen.
Yeah.
So I had a MySpace page for my shitty electronic music that we might talk about someday. And just basically for like social networking, electronic artists would just add me as friends, and I
Right.
think that's how I found him.
Okay.
He's a really awesome dude, like nicest guy
Oh,
ever.
nice.
Every time I've bought something from him, he's written me a handwritten thank you card, and then like as well as like the album I bought, he'll give me like a bunch of postcards and buttons and stickers for free.
Wow.
And this one time, which has like solidified his awesomeness, he has a B-sides and rarities album called Quiver, which actually features a cover of the Twin Peaks theme that he did.
Damn.
And I had a couple tracks of that back when MySpace used to let you download tracks off people's sites, and I saw he had a whole collection of these rarities, and I noticed on his Bandcamp you could only stream it off of the Bandcamp. There wasn't like you couldn't download it
Yeah.
for purchase because he didn't have the right to do a lot of those covers, so he couldn't sell it. So like I sent him this email saying, hey look, I'm not gonna like sue you or anything. Is there any way I can buy this album from you? He's like, nah man, just give me your address. And he just mailed me the CD for free. Like he actually had
Wow.
a printed CD of it, and he just sent it to me for free.
Wow.
Wrote a handwritten thank you postcard saying thanks for having interest in my music. Like
Damn.
he's just a great guy.
Wow.
Great
I
fucking
cannot
guy.
think of any other musician and fan story like that.
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
I will, every time he puts out a new album, I will buy it just because I want to support this guy.
Yeah.
So this album, Topics for Gossip, was released on 99X/10 Records, which I found out is owned by the main keyboardist of The Cure, Roger O'Donnell. So other than that, I couldn't find out that much about him. So what did you think of Crossfire?
I thought it was a good song. I thought it was pretty, kind of contemplative song, and then, I didn't think there was a ton to it, but I liked it. It was a pretty song. It was kind of seemed like a song that could be on a commercial. I gotta be honest.
Exactly.
You said
Yeah.
it, and I was like, that's it. Because in my notes, I was like, it's kind of like it's like a relaxation music, or it's a one-note song. It tries to hit a feeling, gets it, sustains it, and then it's over.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it does feel like it's maybe missing something. Like, I really like this song, but like a visual aspect would add a lot to it. I feel.
Yes.
It's a somber song. I do like how it kind of gradually grows in complexity as the song goes on. Like, every time it loops, another layer gets added to it.
Yeah, there's like an ethereal kind of like horns whispering in there.
Yeah,
it makes it a little more
there's
than
almost
just
like
note.
a hint of a voice I heard in
Yeah.
the way back of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean,
Wait, so I gotta ask a technical question, and this might be totally absurd to do live on the air because we're always live, not edited. But the last like 2 minutes to like 90 seconds of this song is like a long fade out, right?
yeah, it's a very long
Okay,
fade out.
it's a very long fade out. I wasn't sure if it was just like me listening to it on my headphones or what, but that fade out, it's very, very quiet for very, very long, right? Like, I had to literally crank up the volume. But when I did crank it up, I was like, that's the missing sound. Because it was a weird, like, jazzy, kind of like, almost like slightly like dissonant, or the blue notes. I mean, it was like a weird kind of jazzy sound in the back. And I was like, that should have been like louder and like in the middle of the song, and I would have been like, wow. But why was it so quiet?
I
Why
don't
did you do
know. I have no idea.
I'm gonna
This-
write him a letter and ask,
You should,
because I love that part.
He will
I-
probably respond to you.
for
I
real.
guarantee it.
Because I loved it. I loved that last part. Too quiet. Turn it up.
Yeah.
Get in the studio. Turn up the volume, buddy. Come on. What's the Cure guy doing there? Isn't he producing this? Come on.
You fucked up, Roger O'Donnell. You fucked up. Yeah, I think the song kind of invokes this, as cliched as it is, this like sense of staring out a window on a rainy day,
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
feeling a sense of loss. It's a beautiful little moment. It's a small moment. It's just kind of like passing.
Yeah.
It's like us looking out the window and sighing briefly and then going on with your day.
Yeah, that's the other thing I gotta give this song is just like you said. It's kind of got the feels to it, but it's not like sentimental. It's not overly like gushy or sentimental. It is like a kind of subtle. You know what I mean? And that I respect. I do respect that. I have no idea why the hell it's called Crossfire. What in the? Why is it called Crossfire? Crossfire.
Well, I guess unless it's like lamenting someone who died being caught in crossfire. I don't know.
Or a cross on fire. That's pretty.
It's pretty black metal. 666. I don't know. This is like this song right here is the quintessential song that sad high school Jared. He would find so much meaning in this song.
Yeah.
No. It's very nice.
Totally
It's
that.
very somber,
Yeah.
but it kind of like leaves you feeling a little empty, I think.
Yeah. It hits it hits that register, and then it just sustains it for a little bit longer than it has to, especially with that end outro. He's got more tricks up his sleeve, but I liked it. It was
Honestly,
nice.
if I were to pick a goddamn Electric Bill song to show someone who's never heard him before,
Yeah.
this probably wouldn't have been it.
Yeah.
He has really awesome songs. Not to knock this song down, but it's like he has a lot more complex, thoughtful, catchy songs in this.
That
This-
like mix electronic
Yeah.
too with the
Yes.
Yeah. That's what
He's
I would
very
guess,
into
right.
like that electronic folk mix.
Nice.
This song almost feels like maybe like he was fucking around in the studio and it accidentally turned into something. That's what I feel like.
Yeah,
Usually there's
yeah.
a slightly higher level of complexity and thoughtfulness in his music.
Yeah.
Not to knock this song down, but it did just kind of feel like he was missing something.
Yeah, and I mean, if he's a working musician, he doesn't have the luxury
No.
of like waiting 4 years to percolate and then come out with it.
Yeah, he's
You know,
not
so-
Kanye.
Yeah, exactly. But which is a good thing.
Yeah, thank God.
But no, it was good. Clearly, like, he's a good musician.
Yeah.
That was clear in listening to the song. Yeah.
I guess with that, we can move on to our next song, unless you have anything else.
No.
All right. So our next song is Protection by Ben Folds off his 2003 EP, Speed Graphic. Ben Folds is an alt-rock, power pop, piano rock American singer-songwriter and producer from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. As well as his solo work, he is known for being the frontman of the alt-rock trio Ben Folds 5. He's collaborated with the likes of William Shatner, Regina Spektor, Weird Al, Nick Hornby, Pomplamoose, Neil Gaiman, Henry Rollins, Tim and Eric,
Yeah,
and
that's right.
Amanda
I've seen
Palmer.
that. Yeah.
He's also contributed music to the animated films Over the Edge and Hoodwinked. He's also a member of the All Ben supergroup known as the Bens, consisting of Ben Folds, Ben Queller, and Ben Lee.
What about like Ben Stubbard? Can they get that guy? Come on.
I'm just impressed that there's an All Ben supergroup to begin with.
I shouldn't complain. It's pretty rare.
Folds taught himself to play piano at the age of 9 by listening to Elton John and Billy Joel on his AM radio and trying to play along with it, which I thought's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I also found out our other favorite dude, Jonathan Davis of Korn, has been quoted saying, "All we want to do is bring heavy back into rock and roll because goddamn Ben Fold 5 sucks." So Korn's inspiration for existing, besides taking down the Illuminati and Obama, who's a puppet of the Illuminati, is to counteract the horrible music of Ben Folds 5. I also learned that Ben Folds is one of the judges on the NBC program The Sing Off, which is
Really?
like The Voice
Yeah.
or American Idol. But if Ben Folds is on it, it probably has a little more to offer than those other shows.
That dude
'cause
must really need money or like money. Why the hell would he do that?
I don't
Come
know.
on, Ben.
I've never seen it.
Jeez. Come on.
So this EP, Speed Graphic, marked the first of a 3 EP series that Fold would release between his first solo LP, Rockin' the Suburbs, and his second, Songs for Silverman. This song, Protection, was co-written by his first ex-wife of 4, Anna Goodman, whom he actually met in the 1st grade, and then proceeded to marry 3 other women, which he also divorced.
Wow.
So when Ben Folds sings about how he's bad at relationships, he really means he's bad at relationships.
This song was co-written by his wife at the time.
Yes.
That is
Whom
wow.
he met.
Okay.
Yeah, and actually
Sheds a little light on the breakup.
So this song apparently was like a rarity floating around in bootleg form prior to it being solidified with a studio recording on this EP. So this song appears to be about someone going into a relationship with the intent of it to fail and putting up emotional barriers from the get-go as to protect themselves. Rather than actually disliking the person, the narrator seems as if they were trying to convince themselves that they don't like the person due to prior relationships gone wrong.
Yeah.
According to Pitchfork review of this EP, the drumming and bass are the only saving graces on this album. So yeah, what did you think of Protection?
I gotta say, in light of the news that this was co-written by his now ex-wife, which makes total sense, I don't even know what to make of it. I thought that the lyrics were very disturbing. I gotta be honest. These are, if I were a parent and my kids had kind of listened to this song and I just said the lyrics, I would say, I don't think so. They're very bad. He sounds like a very bad human. He's just a simply bad human.
Bad human.
He's just a bad man. He's doing things that humans aren't supposed to do. You shouldn't, just don't be like that. But I will admit, the bass and the drums were very good, and the piano was pretty good too. But the lyrics I thought were kind of disturbing, a little bit too revealing into Ben Folds.
He's being too open for you?
A little bit, or if I can get a little Freudian here, who is he trying to protect himself against? By the end, I thought maybe it was the fans. He was too afraid to really be serious and make a song. This song seemed like a joke.
I just I'm so curious because some of the music I have subjected you to on this podcast.
Yeah.
Such as like lactating blood by Mutilated.
Yeah.
This is the first time you have admitted to being disturbed by lyrics.
Yeah. It's got it, and I'll tell you how I reached that. When I interpret a song, it depends on a lot of variables. One, is it lyric heavy, and can you hear the lyrics? If yes, then I read a lot into the lyrics.
Which, yes.
And a lot of those songs, a lot of those other songs, maybe they didn't seem like they were trying to be like really deeply interpret the words. And the genre for a lot of those big metal bands, it seems like the lyrics it doesn't even matter so much what they're saying. It's all just force and power. But the genre is like jazzy white dude piano.
Well, and so like with the sound of metal music, you expect the disturbing lyrics.
Exactly.
You're caught off guard by
this. This is such a deviation lyrically from what one would expect that I was very caught off guard. He sounds like a total prick. He sounds like a humongous douchebag in the song. I'm sorry, Ben. I've heard some Ben Folds songs that I like. Tim and Eric were in them, so I gotta give you that. But this song, what does he say? Let me just give you a few of the highlights. Can I just give you a few of the highlights here? He says, I guess I'll protect myself from you, okay? Strip down, the song gets quiet, right? And he's saying that. And in the second he says, I just have to remember I'm free to walk. And then the music gets all energized again. So this is the great thing about being in a relationship, is that he remembers that he doesn't have to commit to anything. Okay, that's kind of douchey, but that's not super bad. But he even says, I just need a little bit of what you've got. Don't make me laugh. It sounds like Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This literally sounds like, that's creepy as hell. I just need a little bit of what you've got. He says, I don't care what happens to you. No, I don't give a shit. He says, I don't give a shit what happens to you. Just don't be that way. And then, from just a purely musical perspective, he did what I consider to be one of the cardinal sins. He spelled out a word that he kept saying. F-R-E-E. You just don't do that. You just don't spell out a word, man. Why?
Okay. All you musicians out there, never spell out a word in the song.
Don't do it. It didn't even sound ironic. He said F-R-E-E. So it's terrible. And then I just got to finish the interpretation. The very end, he says, the pussy ass sounds of white people playing jazz.
Yeah.
And I gotta be honest, that didn't sound like, it sounded like he was just trying to like check his credibility, keep his cred in line. Like, I don't want people to like think I'm really trying to like make this song sound this way. I thought that was very disingenuous. I really did.
He's a very disingenuous guy. Like,
you think?
You kind of get, I feel like if you listen to enough of Ben Folds' music, which is, if you actually delve more into this Pitchfork review, is what he gets into, is like, you get kind of callous to this, is how, like, unendingly sarcastic he is about everything. Yeah. It's like, he is so insecure.
Yeah.
Which is what this song is about.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's trying to admit, like, look, this is not healthy how I'm doing this, but this is how I live.
Yeah.
Like, that was a very astute observation. How you said, like, he's almost doing that with the audience also, because
it's what it felt like.
He falls back on, like, self-deprecating, cynical, sarcastic humor as much as he possibly can.
Yeah,
like,
too much. Yeah.
When I actually saw Ben Folds live, he played at my school my freshman year of college. So like, I saw him for like $5. I didn't even know who he was at the time. And they were selling shirts there, and I bought one, and it said like, I heard Ben Folds before he sucked. Like, that is like the most quintessential Ben Folds thing ever. Like, he just criticizes himself.
Yeah.
So like, that line, like, the pussy ass sound of white people playing jazz, it's like he's trying to like say like, yeah, I know I probably shouldn't be doing this, it's stupid, right?
And
like,
it's too much. I gotta be honest, he's a very good musician. He has a fantastic ear for melody on the piano. It's so rare. But yeah, this was like, I just thought,
and like, for as good as the piano is, I'm gonna have to agree with Pitchfork, the drum and bass in the song are fantastic.
Yeah, it is like amazing. Syncopated,
instrumentally,
and jazzy.
Such a good song.
Yeah,
it's so driving.
Yeah.
But no, like, I appreciate how sarcastic and witty Ben Folds can be, but it takes, for someone who,
there's an art to it. There's an art.
There is an art to it, and for someone who likes to sing so much about feelings and emotion, it makes it hard to take him seriously.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
He just sounds like a sociopath. It comes across to me just like, I mean, who would want to think this way?
Yeah, like just, the last note I took on this song is, he seems highly self-aware, almost to his detriment. Like, it's too much.
Yeah.
Like, he's so busy, like, trying to protect himself, as the song says.
Yeah.
It alienates you.
I mean, the only charitable read I can give is he meant for us to feel this way. In which case, that's pretty, like, high art.
Yeah.
But I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I don't buy it. So yeah, that was disappointment, Ben. Come on. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Close your eyes, clear your mind, and just go.
Yeah, you have to go back to 2003 and tell him this.
I know. Actually, one funny side note is my friend Andy Johnson also saw him when he performed at Emory University. And I'm pretty sure somewhere on YouTube, if you Google this performance of Emory Ben Folds doing Bitches Ain't Shit,
I've seen that live.
If you listen to this particular live recording, you'll hear someone in the audience squeal, "Bitches ain't shit," many times. And by like the 10th time, Ben actually stops playing. And I think he says something like, "What the fuck is going on?" And that's my friend Andy Johnson. Just, "Bitches ain't shit." Just like bloody murder. Just
So wait,
bloody murder.
you've seen this video?
Yeah, I've seen the video.
Okay.
Hopefully, if it's there, we'll post it.
Yeah, I will definitely try to look this up.
Yeah, you will.
No,
I hope it's
he
there.
puts on a great live show. What's one of the most entertaining things about his live show is how much he beats the shit out of his piano. Like when I saw him live, the last note he played on the piano was him picking up his bench and just chucking it at the keys.
Wow.
Yeah. Like he's like a punk rock piano guy.
He must have a lot of money. Pianos, much more expensive than
Well,
guitar.
he is on NBC's The
Yeah,
Singer.
That's why. Now we know why. He was trying to be punk with a piano. You're going to have to sell out. That's a recipe for a sellout.
All right. I guess we can move on to our next track.
I got a few other notes about the Freudian. I think he's very phallic oriented in the song.
Ben Foltz.
Yeah, but save that for another time.
You sure? We can go back.
I got about 20 lines
okay.
of penis metaphor in here.
I do see that. I can see it in your notes.
It's just a big penis.
All right. Let's move on to F.C.P.R.E.M.I.X. by The Fall of Troy off their 2005 album Doppelganger. The Fall of Troy are an American post-hardcore math rock trio from Mukilteo, Washington. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that wrong. Math rock is a rhythmically complex, often guitar-based style of experimental rock and indie music that emerged in the 1980s. That was influenced by progressive rock bands such as King Crimson, and the 20th century minimalist composers such as Steve Reich and John Cage.
I don't think I quite would have guessed that from the song, but that's
It's characterized by complex, atypical song structures, counterpoint, odd time signatures, angular melodies, and extended, often dissonant chords.
Okay.
Yeah.
Steve Reich didn't come to mind when I listened to this, but now that you described that, okay, fair.
Yes, so F.C.P.R.E.M.I.X. or F.C.P.R.E.M.I.X., which is an easier way to say it, is actually a remake of a song off the Fall of Troy's first album, which is F.C.P.S.I.T.S.G.E.P.G.E.P.G.E.P.
Jesus Christ.
So they have never come out and made like a factual statement about what that acronym is for.
Yeah.
Though it is highly speculated that it stands for fuck condoms, premarital sex is the shit, get her pregnant, get her pregnant, get her pregnant.
Wow.
Though the band is not willing to confirm nor deny it. So they won't deny it, but they won't admit to it.
Okay. Very good.
Interesting fact. On this album, they have a song titled Tom Waits. As a return favor after seeing they had this song, Tom Waits then wrote a song called The Fall of Troy and put it on one of his albums.
Wow.
So there is some sort of relationship between Tom Waits and The Fall of Troy. It's on his Orphans, Brawlers, Ballers, and Bastards collection, which is one of my favorite Tom Waits album things of all time.
Yeah.
So other than that, I wasn't able to find too much about whether they actually like know each other or not.
Yeah.
Though it is interesting, the Fall of Troy song, Tom Waits, is a song that's loosely about gun safety. And the Tom Waits song, called The Fall of Troy, is about a man named Troy who dies, who was apparently shot. And his family was very sad about it.
Yeah.
Typical Tom Waits song.
Yeah.
This album also has a song titled Macaulay Culkin on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he return the favor with his Velvet
I don't
Pizza
think
band?
so. So having these titles was a very popular thing for like these. I don't want to classify them all, but like this huge umbrella term of like emo bands in the early to mid 2000s to have like these extremely referential song titles. Like the band Circa Survived, I know, has an entire concept album about Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So like they like to like have song titles that reference musicians they liked and books they've read. So like this album, as well as having a song called Tom Waits and Macaulay Culkin, they also reference the Mark Z. Danielewski book House of Leaves with a song called You Got a Death Wish, Johnny Tant, and Holy Tape. They also have a song called Laces Out Dan, which is a quote from Ace Ventura Pet Detective.
Laces Out.
They also have a song called Wacko Jacko Steals the Elephant Man's Bones, which is a reference to the music video of Michael Jackson's song Leave Me Alone, in which Michael dances alongside a claymation portrayal of Joseph Merrick's The Elephant Man's Bones.
Jesus, I didn't even know that.
They like to reference.
Pop culture aficionados.
So there's a bit of contention about what people think this song is about. Some people believe that this song is about a young couple who get pregnant. The girl decides to get an abortion, and the boy, who is the narrator, does not want her to, which kind of throws back to what people think the title stands for. Some people believe it is about a man who's in a relationship with one woman, but is also in love with someone else, and he's confessing his feelings about his feelings for someone else to his current lover.
Yeah.
Some people believe it is about a girl who loves a boy, and the boy does not want to be in a relationship, but soon she wins him over and he falls for her, and then they're happy for a while, and then the girl loses interest in the boy and leaves him, and then he's left alone, madly in love with someone he can't have. Some also think that it is about just, a girl breaking a boy's heart, and in any case, the guy is not happy with his current state of being.
You know why there's so many interpretations? Because I don't think the lyrics suggest any conclusively. I think the lyrics are pretty...
They're vague.
Yeah, they're vague. I read them. I thought it was just kind of like just your standard kind of romantic farewell. Maybe fate will align us. I still have feelings, but will we be together?
Yeah.
Maybe the pregnancy thing. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Wow, I never thought the lyrics would
I
be
didn't
so...
write it down, but like on some like songmeaning.com about this song,
someone was dissecting
some
it.
person put this huge 5-paragraph post like, okay, I know this is a bit of a stretch, but follow me on this. And they went down line by line, writing lines from the song and then describing how it could relate to this pregnancy abortion narrative.
Wow. That is a nuance.
I can try to find it and post it if people are curious about that. So I guess, what did you think of this song?
I thought, bottom line, I thought that that the song achieved very impressive musical heights despite the vocals and the lyrics.
Yes.
I thought the vocals and the lyrics were way, way below the extraordinary work.
The guitar work
guitar
is amazing.
Yeah, fast, rippling, angular riffs, muscular music. I was very impressed. And at that 240 mark, it breaks, and it sounds like Primus almost with bass. It's like
that jam.
Yeah,
is worth listening to this song.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so good. That instrumental jam and the guitar work, it's so manic and crazy, yet highly technically proficient at the same time.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's going off the rails at all.
No.
They know exactly where they're going.
The original version of this song is a lot slower. So especially if you listen to the first version of the song and then go to this one, it's just holy damn, they took this up. They cranked it up to 11, dare I say.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. maybe. Wait, so this math, what's the genre again?
Like math rock.
Are they
or
all
mathcore?
Okay, so math rock or mathcore, just out of curiosity, do most of them sing songs vocally and lyrically like kind of the more like emo
Not at
tradition?
all.
Not at all.
You can find
Yeah.
you can find math rock in many different genres of the world. Like
Okay. Yeah.
I would say more often than not, even more like I'd say more. It's usually more indie than this.
Okay.
'Cause,
yeah,
like,
that's what I would have guessed.
They're
Yeah.
writing this fine line because if you even go like a little bit harder than they do, all of a sudden you're like in like prog rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
Territory.
Absolutely. In fact, if I could listen to this song without the vocals, it would maybe sound
Like
100%
Dream
prog rock.
Theater or
Yeah, it
something
would
like
sound.
that.
I would.
Rush.
I almost want to hear a version of this song without the vocals, just to hear it. But okay, that's interesting. Yeah, that they. What do you think of the vocals and lyrics?
I feel like I am more. What's the word I'm looking for? I grew up listening to music like
Yeah,
this, so
exactly.
it
That's
doesn't
what I
like
thought.
stand out to me.
Yeah,
I actually, I like how conservative and in the background the screaming is because I feel like
Yeah.
bands tend to go a little overboard with it.
Yeah,
It,
true.
it
Yeah.
felt there was like a nice restraint with the screaming. The singing, it's a little kind of nasally and wimpy,
It's a little
especially juxtaposed with instrumentation.
whiny. Yeah.
Like it feels like the content lyrically should have, like, if you're gonna write such technically proficient music, the lyrics maybe just make them a little more like abstract and surreal.
That's what
like
I was thinking.
just
too.
the blatant like broken heart trope was, it didn't mesh well.
It felt out of place in this instance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like romantic kind of farewell.
Because like their other songs are just a lot more abstract, like just weird.
Yeah.
Like this, I mean, that's probably why this is one of their more popular songs, just because it really fell in line with the emo crowd, with
Yeah.
the emotions and whatnot.
And if it got new people to listen to this kind of music,
Yeah.
more power to them. But no, exactly, like, because like the screaming, I kind of liked too, the way that was in there. It didn't bug me. But the lyrics that he was screaming, "Come running home," it just came across as
Yeah.
silly because someone
I-
could theoretically be yelling that in this situation. Come on!
I almost wish like I didn't look, because like
Yeah,
I couldn't know
same,
what he was
same.
screaming until I looked it
Yeah,
up.
exactly. When I looked it up, I was like, oh, God.
Come on,
Come home. Come on. But that 240 mark where it breaks, oh man, that was fantastic
It's
stuff.
really good.
That sold me.
really
on the
good.
song. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
No. But yeah, definitely that's what you want to name a song if you don't want anyone to randomly find it.
Yes. F.C.P.R.E.I.M.I.X.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, with that, we can move on to our next track, Land Disasters by Blanck Mass.
Is it Blanck Mass or Blank Mass? Or it's just made up word?
I guess I've always assumed it was Blank, just spelt funny.
Yeah.
It's B-L-A-N-C-K Mass, Blanck Mass, Blanck Mass.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, that's
This is off the 2011 self-titled album, Blanck Mass, Blanck Mass. Blanck Mass, it's a British electronic solo project of Benjamin Power, who is one half of the founding members of the noise drone band Fuck Buttons, which is one of my favorite bands of all time. Blanck Mass dabbles in ambient drone, post-rock, and kind of electronic experimental music. Maddie and I saw Fuck Buttons live at Carleton College at Northfield, Minnesota, in Northfield, Minnesota. And this guy, Benjamin Powers, he's a member of Fuck Buttons, and he was working the merch table when we got to the show. And we just started talking to him, and he gave us some buttons for free, so he gave us some Fuck Buttons.
Wow, you got some real.
We got some Fuck Buttons
That's
from
awesome.
Fuck Buttons.
Wow,
He's a
that's
cool
awesome.
guy.
Wow.
Really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Working the table himself.
So Powers has described this album And get ready. It's a little deep. A collection of tracks loosely themed around cerebral hypoxia and the beautiful complexity of the natural world. It's an interstellar journey that defies classification, revealing itself further and further with each listen, often more with each visit. Out of step with the nostalgic focus of current climes, there's a sense of unresolved running through this record, like perpetually coming up, endlessly walking Escher's ascending and descending, swimming for a surface that you know you will never reach. And if anyone's curious, cerebral hypoxia is a reduced supply of oxygen specifically to the brain. So if you were in elementary school and you and your friends ever like asphyxiated yourselves so you'd see weird colors, I think that's kind of what this is in reference to.
And listen to this song, man.
He also mentioned that this album was highly inspired by 2001: A Space Odyssey. So this song, Land Disasters, was actually the very first song that he ever dropped under this moniker. This was the first song anyone ever got a taste of. Many music critics feel as if this song is very similar to his work with Fuck Buttons, who are known for their kind of wall of sound and triumphant builds, though this song lacked percussion, which Fuck Buttons usually heavily relies upon. So, as FM Stinger from Beats Per Minute said, of course, the record is not without its triumphs, and these are a Fuck Buttons related triumphs. They are generally fucking huge. Land Disasters is a squall of ferocity and glory, churning and gathering in power until the bass drops at 3 minutes and 47 seconds, and the resulting wall of sound feels satisfyingly earned and complete. Larry Fitzmaurice of Pitchfork defends Power, saying, "But Powers is not merely repeating old tricks. Whereas Fuck Buttons' best material builds to a potent anthem of sky-high drone, Land Disasters is more about patience and subtlety. As it slowly opens up into screeching symphonic bliss, its rich tones deepening with each sneaky melodic shift. If only actual suffocation were this satisfying."
Jesus.
Referencing the cerebral hypoxia.
Yeah.
So what did you think of Land Disasters?
I thought it was very good. I thought, honestly, it sounded like sacred music. You know, I mean, like way back with like Bach. There's profane music and there's sacred music. And it literally sounded like someone with like a pipe organ in like a 16th century cathedral could have been playing this.
I can hear that. It's funny you should say that because after this album, he switched to a record label called Sacred Bones.
Really?
Yeah.
Proof I'm right.
Yeah.
But
It's empirical.
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought it had, you know, cool, like kind of fuzz sonic sounds, but kind of the essence of it, I thought was kind of, I don't want to say simple. I don't mean that in a negative way, but it almost seemed just like sacred music.
Yeah.
Like Arvo Part, who's a really like kind of famous composer, says he does sacred music. Not necessarily because he like, you know, believes in God, but the tradition of just kind of like music that sounds revelatory.
The ritual of it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, you know, music that ennobles the soul, that sort of thing.
I found it interesting because the way it starts, it feels like you're walking onto a scene that's already happening. Like there's no intro to the song. You just get dropped into it.
Yeah.
And it feels like, especially growing up as like an oversaturated millennial, my inclination would be to grow bored of this track.
Right.
'Cause
7.5 minutes.
It's so and it's so abstract and there's no beat to it.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of like being like just thrown in water and you're like grasping for something hard to grab onto and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But as I kept like forcing myself to listen to it over and over again, the track really started to grow on me.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like I went from being kind of the first, because I was like super excited when this album came out because I loved Fuck Buttons so much, and I was really disappointed with this. I was like, oh, it's just like, it's like soundscapes is all I thought it was.
Yeah.
But then listening to this closer, it's like listening to the sound of something huge.
Yeah.
And it's like a Rothko painting where like you can't take enough steps back to really take it in, so you just had to accept the little piece of it that you're given.
Yeah.
All you can really do is be in awe of it.
Yeah, it's immersive.
And I highly recommend listening to the song with headphones.
Yeah.
Like you need to feel like you're surrounded by the sound.
Yeah.
Like I can't even imagine what it would be like if you were like in a sensory deprivation tank, but this song was playing at the same time. Like you would probably like be the closest thing to LSD you could do without actually taking LSD.
Yeah, exactly.
It feels like it's more of an experience than a song.
Yeah, it's expansive. Yeah. It's a big song. And by the end, you notice, like, because right at the end it like tapers off, and then you can hear that the whole time there was like a little like almost 8-bit like riff going on, which I thought that stuff like
I
that
did like that a lot.
Re-listening, listen to it again.
Well, yeah,
maybe there was more there.
I do agree with with his description of the album. Every time I listened to it, I did hear something I didn't hear the previous time.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Oh, I dug it a lot. I mean, I guess I don't have that much more to say about it other than it's just like you just need to take it in and let it engulf you.
Yeah, it is a song that words don't quite do it justice, which again, I mean, it almost seems like ancient to say, but that's sacred music. That music.
Yeah, like he's channeling something that you can't even describe. Like it's just like a universal truth, a spiritual power or something.
Yeah. That the music is just supposed to like go through you.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Which, like 2001 Space Odyssey, it's like...
Yeah, it's right there.
Like the awe. That's like the terror of the Old Testament right there. Oh my God. It's so... I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a great song, but I don't have a ton to say about it.
Just listen to it.
Yeah, but listen to it.
Just listen to it.
Yeah.
Okay, with that, we can move on to our final song, Defend You by Silverstein, off the 2005 album Discovering the Waterfront. Silverstein are a Canadian post-hardcore / emo band from Burlington, Ontario, Canada. Their band name is a reference to the famous children's author Shel Silverstein, whom the band has admired and read the stories a lot when they were kids. Interesting little tidbit, when I was in high school, there was this clique of Mormon kids that I was in the theater program with, and they were all insanely into emo music.
Really?
Yes. Huh. The thing is like with bands like Silverstein, it was clean music.
Yeah.
Like other than talking about like emotional pain, it wasn't drugs. It wasn't. They didn't swear. They were just talking about.
Don't advocate violence.
Well, other than cutting their own veins and shit like that.
The metaphor.
So Silverstein was like their favorite band. This was like the poster boy, poster girl, poster person band for this Mormon kid emo scene.
Oh man, wow.
But that's kind of how I got into them. Actually, my friend Kayla Tokar, I don't know if she listens to this, but shout out to her. She kind of hung out with them, and she got me into Silverstein also.
Nice.
So, other than Census Fail, which a song of theirs popped up in the podcast, you weren't on it. It was actually going back yet again to Maddie's brother Max.
This is a repeat.
Well, no. So a Census Fail song showed up, and I described them as like the poster person for the mid to early 2000s post emo second wave emo scene.
Yeah.
If there was any other band that could contend with them about taking that spot as poster person, it would be Silverstein. Like they're the most quintessential post emo screamo second wave emo band I've ever listened to. They embody everything that one of those bands should have.
Nice.
So what did you think of Defend You?
You definitely could convince me that this was quintessential emo, no doubt. In fact, I more or less wrote this sounds like
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's either you're in with like the music. There's the music and there's the lyrics and there's the vocals, right? The music is so dominated by the vocals and the lyrics that I almost have no notes about the music itself. So I'll admit right away, those are probably pretty good. They're probably, standard, stock, good stuff. The lyrics and the vocals, they're so dominating. You're either with them or you're not. And I was just couldn't quite identify.
Polarizing.
Yeah, and I could not quite. More than any other emo song, this one sounded like a temper tantrum. I felt bad for like the parents, that the kids that listen to this. It's like, I'm sure the if you're listening to this song and you're getting mad about your parents, they probably weren't that bad. This is exaggerated. This is excessive. All right? I literally was
Sure.
like, so, it was just, especially that at 1 minute and 50 seconds, there's like a break. And it just sounded like I just wrote huge temper tantrum. How can you be this way? I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
you gotta let it go. Let it go.
As someone on the outside of this genre, I can totally see how this is like an extremely cringe-inducing song. Like you're almost embarrassed that a bunch of like 20-year-olds probably sat around and wrote this. Someone who came from the inside of this scene, this was really good emo music at the time.
Okay, right on.
So
Yeah.
I feel like me being where I am now, I can appreciate both sides.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
a huge nostalgia factor that makes me think, like, when this came on, I actually went and like re-listened to this whole album because like, oh, I haven't listened to this since I was in high school. I freaking love this album.
Right.
At the same time, it's like, holy shit, I actually listened to this. This is horrible. I feel like Two-Face. Like I'm fully seeing two sides of a very different coin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No, but I mean, I could see I could see where, it's almost like the first song where it's like a one note, it's kind of, if you're in that emotional place or roughly in that emotional place and you hear this song, it could resonate with you tremendously, especially, you're young, right? That's, the hormones are going through you, right? How could you do this to me, Dad? Dad, how could you do this? How could you do this to me, Dad? Right? That's how so I could see how it would become nostalgic too. But,
yeah.
But oh man.
No,
You gotta let it go, Silverstein. You gotta let it go. Don't hold it in. Don't have resentment. Come on.
So I did find a very humorous critique of this album. Brian E. Jemima of the UK-based webzine Drowned in Sound had this to say about the album. There are some unremarkable, bog-standard drumming, always the necessary spine of a shit band, and some over-nurtured songs that have so many catchy choruses, peppered with screamo moments for the kids to sing along to, that it can be nothing but dull. Add some disgustingly tacked on strings halfway through, and you have more than enough reasons to press eject.
Oh god. Wow.
Yeah, this album actually, it marked a shift in the sound for this band after their first album, when Broken is Easily Fixed, which was more of like a traditional emo album. This, which if you got past the vocals, you might have heard, the instrumentation was faster paced, more energetic, kind of had like a punk rock vibe to it, just kind of really like fast.
Yeah.
This song, it's pretty much about someone who's basically, the narrator is close to someone, whether it be a lover or a friend or a parent, and they see this person that was once close to them as ruining their image through bad decisions and mistakes they made.
Yeah.
And the narrator's not happy about it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what the song's about. Anyone who listens to it would probably gather that.
The lyrics sometimes they're a little too literal. I gotta be honest.
Now, I dig this song, but I also realize how ridiculous and stupid it is at the same time. So like I
That makes
really
you a true fan.
I feel
you can see it for what it is and you like it. That makes you a true fan.
yeah,
You can appreciate
I
it.
don't know if I want to call myself a true fan of Silverstein. Like at one time I was,
Yeah.
and nostalgia is a very powerful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't know, do you have any any other thoughts on Defend You?
No, just, again, to Silverstein's parents. I hope they,
You should hug your children.
yeah, hug your children more, man. So some very sensitive boys.
Yes. So if you had to pick, what was your favorite song of the 5?
I'm tempted to go with Ben Folds just because I can identify with his, struggles that he's going with. But no, I think I'll go with Blank Mass.
I'm
It's
going
a very
through.
good song.
I'm gonna go with Land Disasters as well by
Yeah.
Blank Mass.
Yeah.
Which it started out as probably my least favorite song of the 5, and then it just grew on me so much that
Yeah.
I want to go back and revisit that album now. How much I like that song.
Yeah. No, it's huge song. Wall of Sound. I think
Wall
you
of
said.
Sound,
Yeah,
and
it's a good
actually,
one.
if you like that concept of Wall of Sound,
Yeah.
I highly recommend checking out Fuck Buttons.
Yeah, I should. I've heard about them a lot.
Like,
Yeah, I've never
for as
listened
good
to
as
them.
Blank Mass was, Fuck Buttons is where it's at.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on.
Highly recommend it. So, I have a couple closing information bits, which is kind of new for this show.
Ooh.
I kind of threw some ideas towards Dominic about some possible new segments we might do coming up, and I just wanted to kind of announce it, see if anyone has any thoughts. So after the David Bowie episode, which Dominic and I both enjoyed doing, I think the audience, you guys also liked it, we thought maybe about every once in a while having curated playlists dedicated to kind of niche and fringe genres, since I have some weird ass music in my library.
Yeah.
So maybe once a month, maybe once every 2 months, we would have an episode dedicated to Witch House or Vaporwave or Grindcore, some weird genre where I would put together a playlist rather than having a randomly generated one, and there would also kind of be like a little history lesson about
Yeah.
what the genre's all about, and I could tell you, if you dug this, here's some artists you can check out. So I think we're going to start doing that. If you guys hate the idea, let me know. If you like it, let me know. If there's a genre you want to hear about, I can do research on, let me know.
To all my wing nuts out there, I'm pulling for a wings section,
episode.
but we'll see. All right, stay tuned.
Maybe.
That's the carrot at the end of the stick.
Yes.
We're gonna keep
Yes.
taking you along for the wings episode.
And the other idea that we came up with is a user-generated shuffle playlist. In that, it would be random to a point. So basically what I would ask of you guys, the listeners, is send me a track that you want to hear us talk about. So as everybody's sending them in, I would start to generate a big list of everything, and I would put it in the order that I received them, and then I would just take 5 and 5 and 5. And so then it would kind of be like, it would still be a shuffled playlist, but it would also be a song that you guys would want to hear. So I kind of like this idea. If you guys have any songs you want us to talk about, just send them to me. You can send them to our Facebook page, facebook.com/shuffle. And of course, shuffle is always spelled 5, the number 5, HUFFLE. You can send it to me on Twitter, which is @shufflepodcast. You can post it on Tumblr, shufflepodcast.tumblr.com. You could email it to me, shufflecastpod@gmail.com. Or because I know most of you listeners know me in real life, just text me or post it on my Facebook or something. So just give it to me. Once I have 5 songs at least, we can start to do it. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking if we could get a big enough thing going, we could do 2 normal episodes of Shuffle every month. 1 episode of the listener generated playlist, and 1 of these niche ones.
Nice.
At least see
Yeah.
how that goes for a
Yeah,
while.
right on.
All right.
I'm just the special guest, so
Yeah.
I go wherever
Yeah, he
you
doesn't
want me
matter.
to go, man.
He doesn't matter. I talked to him about this before, just so you all know. Don't let him lie to you.
I'm just the wing nut.
Okay. If you still had a beer in front of you, I would tell you to take a sip, because you need to prepare yourself for what's coming next. So, before I went out and about on our holiday trips over December, I set up a bunch of potential playlists because I wasn't sure how many people I was going to find to record with while I was out and about.
Right.
I only actually ended up doing 2, but I already had some playlists set up, and I talked to Dominic and asked him, do you want me to do it in front of you, pick new playlists, or do you just want me to use the ones I already have? And we decided we were going to use the ones I already have.
Yeah.
So here's next week's 5 songs. First song, The Dead One by Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, yes. It happened,
It's
baby.
finally happened.
Oh, man. I'm going to wear face paint next
That
week.
bullet just got pulled out of our Insane Clown Posse Russian roulette gun
Damn.
and is lodged into our brains.
Damn.
We will be reviewing our first ever
That's awesome.
Insane Clown Posse song next week.
This might actually be the first ICP song I knowingly listen to.
So, everyone,
Bring your Fago soda, y'all. Yeah.
and don't worry, I will have a lengthy background description about everything ICP.
We gotta call this episode just ICP and try to get some ICP nuts out there
to listen
to
to it.
listen.
So,
Okay, reach out to that community.
there we go. It happened.
Oh, man,
Okay.
no.
Second track, Lotion by Deftones. Third, Fame Thrower by Pavement. Fourth, I Will Bury You in Time by Jeff Magnum of Nutrimilk Hotel. And fifth and final track, Beyond the Dying Light by God is an Astronaut. So, prepare yourselves for Insane Clown Posse, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Peace.